want to tell you a story about how I stumbled upon intermittent fasting, even though I grew up Muslim. I'm not for Islam, but so I always found dieting and all these sort of things like just fundamentally unsustainable. I was just like, how the hell can it be? Excuse my French, but how can God, in His infinite wisdom, make these things okay? Like whether it's cake or muffins and all these things that we naturally love, that we naturally gravitate towards. How can God make these things lawful or halal? And then these things are inherently bad. We should avoid them. And so because I've always had a sweet tooth, and like I'm just being honest. So how can these things be okay Islamically, but then on the other hand, we should avoid them like the plague and all these things. So I just gave up on this whole dieting stuff. I said, okay, that's fundamentally unsustainable. Who the hell is going to eat like that for the rest of their lives? How can people continue like that? How is that sustainable? So I just said, okay, I'm done with this nonsense. I just given up on it. So I just left. I'd go for walks, I tried to do my calisthenics. Then I got married and had kids, and then I kind of gave up on that too. So, so for a while, for years, I just kind of let myself go, and I didn't have any sort of hope because I'd given up on that front. I was just like, okay, who the hell is going to do paleo or keto or all these sort of things? By the way, keto, according to the research I've done, it is effective. It does work. My only beef with it, if you will, is how the hell can people maintain that? Avoid like carbs like the plague and eat fish and nuts for the rest of their lives. So I just found it just a bunch of nonsense. And then I was working in Maryland, Frederick, Maryland, and I was listening to this YouTube video and I had recently stumbled upon Terry Crews. He's an actor in Hollywood. I found out he does intermittent fasting. So I guess I Googled it on the computer at work, and so this came up on my feed. I watched a video by Dr. Jason Fung, and he's talking about how he was trying to figure out a way for his patients to lose weight. He's a nephrologist in Toronto, and he asked his son. His son was 8 or something, and he said, if someone wants to lose weight, they shouldn't eat.